All right. So are we ready to create our own personal user manuals?
Do it.
Take a run at it. All right. But Maureen's got a look on her face that says, I'm not sure about this.
She's in.
All right. So we'll give you a template just like I walk through with everybody else. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to just 3 things about you that you think other people should know. So write down 3 things about you that you think people should know. What's a gut response? The reason we also are going through this so you can see where you stumble. And that might be a signal. This might be things that other people may stumble with. So when I ever have somebody new doing a personal user manual, I always show mine first. So they can see here, I've been open. I'd like you to share 3 things about you that you're comfortable sharing. Again, personal or professional. So Barbara, yours could all be professional.
So is the purpose of this to get to know the person, to have something to start a conversation? Or is it to know more about your personality and how to interact with the person?
Yes, and yes to all of that. So all of these, when you're creating a personal user manual, if you're sharing them with others, they do all of that. They help you have some context about the person. And then it could also be a way for me to start the conversation. So instead of me wondering what the heck, I'm just meeting Barbara for the first time. What am I going to talk to Barbara? Hey, Barbara, how you doing? That's when I could sit there and say, okay, Barbara, you're newly retired. Tell me about some of the things that you're doing and enjoying in your retirement. A much richer conversation than, hey, Barbara, how you doing? So it does both. Great question, though.
And I'll add on a personal note. Chris and I have known each other for a long time, but we also, we talk every week. And a good compromise between Chris and I, knowing that I'm not a morning person, but Chris is that we meet, when we talk, we meet mid-morning. So that way I still have coffee and I have part of my brain cells awake, and Chris is, ready to, lend her energy while she still has energy in the morning. So those are the sorts of compromises that you can make when you know these things about each other.
Yeah, it again, it lessens that, I need to get to know. And just because I'm a morning person, I don't expect Shannon to meet with me at 9 a.m. I don't. I know that for her, that would not go well. She could do it, but let's compromise. So that's the other piece of this. As we look through some of these, you'll start to see, okay, what are my non-negotiables? And what are my negotiables? So if I know that for me, my brain power lessens as the day goes on. And I used to work for an organization. We were spread out all across the United States and even had some out in Zurich. And if they asked me to meet like 3 o'clock or later, I was not at my best. And I'm like, I'm just going to be honest. I am not at my best. So if you want me to lead a project, we're going to have to meet prior to that so I can be a fully effective project facilitator. So one of the things I always recommend, even though some of you put this already, is I'd love you to come up with what's your top 1, how to communicate with me. This can be anything related to communication. So what's the top thing? For me, it's send me an IM. Don't send me an email. Send me an instant message. But that's just me. So what's the top thing that you think someone who is working with you needs to know? And the next one I'd like you to think of, what's the top thing about your work style? How you like to work, where you like to work, how you like to process information. Could be any of that. How you like to structure your day. The next one that I think is really good is you get my best when. So for me, this is you get my best when I have time to think. You get my best when you don't ask me to sit in back-to-back meetings. And then I'll give you one more to choose from. You can choose to share, come up with what's your superpower your Achilles heel, or how you like to receive feedback. So did it provide you any clarity for yourself and make you think about how you like to work? And how do you think this experience would be? You know, Jason, let's go back to your example. How do you think an experience like this would be for a new hire to go through?
I think it'd be great, especially because they want to let people know who they are and get that right. And as their leader, I want to know like how best to communicate with them. And this is an easy way for them to just kind of say, this is the best way, instead of us kind of fumbling for the first month or so. And then coming back like, I like it when you do, I need you to do it this way. And find out, oh, okay, well, we're really not connecting as a team then, because we don't know how to communicate.
Yep. And that's where the team agreement can be really powerful too.
I like that it really makes you think about who you are internally, doing the primal scream at people. Why do they do this? And it's because we really haven't communicated to them that sort of behavior is not effective, with me, or, they just didn't know that that's not how I like to communicate or how I like to receive information. So I think that exercise in of itself was really important for me personally.
Yeah, it really helps you to frame up again, as I share, it's negotiables and non-negotiables. And if I can share, here are some non-negotiables, then I feel much more comfortable, even if I do have to compromise, which happens a lot in team agreements. You do have to compromise, but at least I know and I'm clear and I can articulate that then, because I know what's important to me.
Thank you, Barbara. I just wanted to say that this is going to be so valuable because what I'm running up against is people don't realize everyone's not them. Everyone thinks we all like this and we all forgive that. And yeah, we are all different people. So it's really been eye-opening. Thank you.